Hey there, Colonials. Welcome back to another edition of Quickly Colonial. It is Christmas Eve here in the hills of Pennsylvania, and it's a chilly one. We've had a little bit of snow, and now it's kind of calmed down, and just looks blustery and overcast this morning. But as I was doing a little bit of last-minute Christmas shopping yesterday, I was walking through the checkout, and a candy bar. Yeah, I want a candy bar. So I grabbed a chocolate bar. And then whenever I came home, I realized that Mrs. Colonial was very, very busy in the kitchen with all different kinds of chocolate. And that got me thinking. That's something that connects us with colonial times. Primarily, my all-time favorite, hot cocoa. Now, in colonial times, hot cocoa isn't exactly what we have today. They would take the chocolate that they had manufactured, and it would be in these little bricks, these little hard bricks, and they would take, General Washington and Martha Washington, they would take hot water or hot brandy or hot milk, and they would shave pieces of those cocoa nibs off into their drink. Or Mrs. Washington liked to take the shells or the husks of the chocolate nut itself and put it in hot water or hot milk and sip on that. It was a little bit more bitter, kind of like a chocolatey coffee. That's the best that we could compare it to in today's standards. But you always had to have we use spoons today, but they would use a spoon or a toddy rod, a small iron rod that they would keep in the fire and keep it warm, and they would put that in there and it would keep their drink warm. But they could also stir with it as well, because those cocoa nibs, all those solids that they would shave off into their drink, they would eventually float to the top. And then whenever you go to take a drink, you get all those crusties in your mouth. So they would continue to stir it so that all those solids would be suspended then. Now those cocoa nibs, because it's unmanufactured by today's standards, it would have layers of fat, natural plant fat that would be in there, and all of that would float to the top, and you would stir it up, and you would see that fatty, shiny sheen over the top of your drink. And think about if you get a hot cocoa with whipped cream, and all that whipped cream melts, and then you just have that shiny, oily frost sitting on the top. That's pretty much what it was. It had this oily sheen on the top of it. So you'd take your toddy rod or your spoon and you'd mix it up. We in America absolutely love our chocolate. At the time of the American Revolution, England, in all of England, had one chocolatier. But here in the colonies, or after July 4th, 1776, here in the United States, during the American Revolution, they had over almost 70 chocolatiers in the colonies. So here we have in our wonderful United States, chocolate connoisseurs. We had much more chocolatiers than anybody else at the time period, and we probably still have that today. So my dear colonials, wrap up, keep warm, watch out for Santa Claus, and keep your Christmas stars shining all through the night. My dear colonials, please have a happy Christmas, and we'll see you next time.